Good YouTube, this IQ Domino coming back at y'all with another motherfucking banger of a video. Now today, Robert Greene's thoughts on Andrew Tate. We all know Robert Greene is a certified sociopath, you know what I'm saying? Salute to him. Andrew Tate is a certified, maybe borderline psychopath. We salute to him. Doesn't mean you ain't a good or bad, doesn't mean you're a bad person, just mean that you just got a different way of thinking. Get right into it.
Yeah, so men have a feminine side to them, which if you try to repress it, will come out in other ways. And women have a masculine side to them. I think Jung described this very well with the anima and the animus, which I think is extremely real.
What is that?
It's very, very confusing times for both men and for women right now. We don't know the roles that they're everything is just so fluid, and it's very, very difficult, particularly if you're young. So young women are getting this idea that everything should be equal and that women should have, and of course it's right, should be paid the same, should have the same career opportunities. There should be no prejudice or harassment or anything. But at the same time, on social media, it's all about looking perfect, and looks are incredibly important. And if you're not hot, you're in terrible trouble. And a lot of young girls are extremely confused by this. They're getting mixed signals, right? And boys are even in.
The reality of it is though, is that how I view what he's saying about the pretty women and women, valuing themselves off their looks. You can be very pretty, very fine, very beautiful, and not have nothing about you. You can be a guy, you can have a lot of money, and you can be high status and have nothing really about you that is like truly attractive. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the reality of society, when it comes around the reality of the world, and the reason why some guys win and most guys lose is because they don't really have a connection with themselves. You know, people don't try to better themselves. People don't really aim to improve anymore, and it's not really a relationship thing. I mean, it's really just an abundance of life thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you sit down and you look at yourself and you not look at social media, you'll see the truth in your identity. And in that situation, you see the truth in your identity and who you are and the things that you should be getting better at. Your perspective changes on the way you view the world, because the world is no longer, looking at a world of perception. You're looking at a world of your own reality, and I think that's both true for men and women. You know what I'm saying? It's about what you want. And I think that is what missing a lot of people's heads, is that they try to put up this image, and they're so focused on this image, is that their reality is worse than the image. You know what I'm saying? It's way worse than what they look like sometimes. And sometimes the image is, their reality is better than what it looks like. Just because you live in a life that doesn't come off meaningful, that doesn't come off impactful in a lot of people's eyes, doesn't mean that you're not living a meaningful, impactful life. It just means that it doesn't look like it. You know what I'm saying? So, in that reality, in that sense of, identity, you have to really understand that the real connection you have with yourself is the connection of your reality. Of your happiness, of your anger, of your joy, of your pain, of your excitement, of everything that you live, of your experiences. It's all about you. It's not about anything else outside of yourself. It's all about you. And when I understand it might come off like selfish, but to be honest, bro, if you ever look at your life and you ever look at the beginning when you're a baby, when you are in your dad's nuts, you go to that egg and you become a baby, and you walk and you go to your nursery, you go to school, and you go to church, and you go to playgrounds and all these places, club, and you grow a little older, you go to school, you go to high school, you go to clubs, and you go to parties, and you go to kickbacks, you go to college, you get a job, you do all these things. Only one person that you have through all those fucking experiences, and that's yourself. You know what I'm saying? Outside of God or Allah, whatever you believe in, I believe in it. It's all the same. So, if you don't understand that selfishness is needed to get to where you're going in life, you'll never have a meaningful life, because you're so busy thinking about everything outside of yourself, and really, you are all you got. No matter what situation, you will always have you. And People don't look at it like that no more. Like, people think it's so bad to not give a fuck about certain things. And the reality is, bro, it's okay not to give a fuck about some things. It's just human, because you're human. It's not saying that it's not a good or bad thing. It's just like, the reality is that you're human, you know? And I don't think a lot of people have that in them no more.
Perhaps even worse circumstance where being masculine is seen as something negative. So we don't have any ideals out there anymore of what constitutes a good positive form of femininity and a good positive form of masculinity. In fact, we even think that there shouldn't be anything like that there's no such thing as being masculine or feminine, whatever. It's very, very confusing. And so, you know, I think of masculine traits that I think are very positive and that should be out there to kind of counteract the sort of Andrew Tate seduction that a lot of young men are falling for. And it's a kind of an inner strength where you're sort of in control of your emotions. You're not invulnerable, et cetera, et cetera. But you can take criticism. You can take, you can have moments of failure and you'll bounce back, but you have a kind of inner resilience and a kind of inner strength, a kind of a quiet calm that I think used to be exemplified in movie icons like a Gary Cooper type thing, right? And that kind of sense of inner calmness where you're not hysterical, you're not getting upset about everything that happens, where you have a kind of an inner strength and a confidence, and you can withstand kind of what Ryan Holiday talks about, a lot about with stoicism. You can withstand all of the hardships in life, but you have that citadel within you, is a very, very powerful form of masculinity, as opposed to it's all about sleeping with a lot of women, having really fast cars, being abusive and being a bully, et cetera, et cetera. These are signs of weakness, of insecurity. And to be masculine should be a sense of security and inner confidence and inner strength, right? And that's what we should venerate in our culture, and we should have icons like that.
Like, what he's saying, man, like I really do agree with what he's saying on a big note. Like, the reality of it is that people don't really have that strong identity in themselves. You can choose to be what you identify as masculine, man. Like, it's your choice. But your masculinity and who you are as a person, or your femininity as a woman, should 100% be dependent upon how you view yourself. I mean, it's not the same for women, but I believe as a man, it should be 100% on how you view yourself. Of course, you're going to have ups. Of course, you're going to have downs. When he said bouncing back, what do you learn from your experiences? How can you get to that end goal better? What can you do better? What if you did fall down, and what if it just wasn't your time if you do the same thing in another situation? Will you get the same goal, the end goal, or you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and keep learning from your experiences? Will you get better? You got to really look at yourself and identify what is good and what is bad. Because the reality is, if you look around at certain people around you, bro, like, you'll come to the conclusion very quickly that, man, he doing this shit because, man, he got some real problems. Like, if a motherfucker a bully, like, he just only pick on dudes that he know he can whoop. But if somebody who's, like, questionable, there's a question he can whoop or not, and he don't pick on him, he don't talk to him crazy, that's something wrong. That's something about him that's just, like, he only does things that's easy. He only goes for things that's easy. Right? And it can be vice versa. If something is extremely hard, extremely challenging, and somebody decides to only do the things that are hard and challenging and not the things that are sustainable, what if that person is putting their value inside of achieving that unbelievable goal? All your values should be 100% depicted, defined by you, every ounce of it. You know what I'm saying? No one thing completely makes you who you. No one thing defines you unless you choose it to. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reality of this world that the world is really missing today. Everybody want to put labels on everybody. And everybody want to say you this and everybody want to say you that, and or he this and she this. Man, the reality is that what do you think it is? Like, really break it down for yourself and really look at it from your own lens. What do you think it is? What do you think good is? What do you think bad is? What do you think are good? What do you think your strengths is? What do you think your weaknesses are? What is your perspective? Fall in love with that. When the moment you fall in love with that kind of shit, the moment you fall in love with your principles, your standards, things that make you stronger and better as a person, it just ain't to consistently get better and keep growing. Your life, you are. I promise you, you are. I'm gonna make a course. I'm gonna make not a course, but a video on it. Like, and I'm gonna start like a thing about it. Like, that is masculinity, bro. That is masculinity. That's what masculinity is. And the truth is that a man is supposed to be able to put what he learned from himself into the woman he loves. And that's what builds her up. That's what makes her feel loved. That's what makes her feel secure. But most of you motherfuckers really don't, like, a lot. I ain't gonna say most of you motherfuckers, but a lot of people in this world, it's not my people, I realize a lot of my viewers are actually learning. But a lot of people in this world, they not really trying to put that into the woman that they with. They trying to still live through an image. When they get a business or they get a job, they don't put themselves into the people around them, into their work. They think, I'm living an image on the outside of my job, so it's enough. They're not getting that fulfillment. They're missing the aim of that fulfillment that they get from doing these things. So when you living like this, it's easy to be misguided. It's easy to follow things. It's easy to be manipulated because image does not define anything. Character is everything. This IQ Domino, man. That's all I really got for y'all, man. If you like this type of content, leave a like down below. And if you like this, if you want to see more of this kind of content, subscribe. And I drop this kind of content all of the time. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all.